Hi guys, this is Party Wolf. I'm making a really quick YouTube video on how to sidestep in this game. It won't go super in-depth, but it'll be enough to where things will start to make sense, because I'm sure some of you guys have felt like, man, this sidestep in this game feels very inconsistent, because I know for a fact that I've stepped this move before, but now that I try to do it again in a match, now it's clipping me randomly, and I don't understand. It's very frustrating, and I need to play a game where my sidestep actually works. But I'm here to help you in the sense that there is like a consistency to it. You just have to understand that this game's sidestep is very timing based, and I will explain that further with a bunch of examples. So I've already pre-recorded some examples. My first example is jab and a jab. Now jab and a jab, jabs are pretty linear in this game, right? You can sidestep them. Sometimes they'll have tracking directions, so if I go the other way, it might be a little bit more difficult. But if you look at the frame data, I'm -1 here, so that kind of plays a part in it too. The more disadvantaged you are, the harder it is to sidestep. If I were to give myself more plus frames here, like let's say I blocked a basic middle poke, then I might be able to sidestep to the strong side of the button, but it's a little more annoying. So if you're able to memorize the strong sides, you don't have to deal with this nuisance at all, basically. So I would it's definitely worth being studious in this game, because you'll be able to figure out how to use movement to the best of its ability. Because it is matchup specific, and it depends on each move. That's why it's matchup specific. Let's give another example here. So here I'm +4, giving myself even more frame advantage. And yeah, it's way more simple to evade the jab, because we've all agreed this is a linear button. It's not really clipping me. You may run into issues where the sidestep starts to end too early because you stopped moving. Just because like the you had so much time that the animation ended by the time that they threw out the button. Does that make sense? But you know, I'll go back to what I was saying earlier. If you step to the strong side, or sorry, not the strong side, the weak side, then you pretty much never have to worry about this problem. I don't have any issues with this at all. So the point I'm really trying to drive home here is not only to learn the strong sides of moves, but to give yourself as much time as possible if you do not understand that information in the first place. Because if you have a lot of frame advantage, you probably don't need to study too hard on which tracking side you need to go. Another example here, we're going to be talking about the sidewalking in this game. The sidewalking in this game, you know, just visually, you know, you can kind of see them start to slow down a little bit, but at the same time, you know, they are moving. So logically, you know, I have Leo stepping to the same, or sorry, walking to the same direction that I sidestepped earlier, which was to the right. And you can see when I'm already off axis here, so let's let her move a little bit. This stuff is completely whiffing, but if I were to have that same situation, and I just move forward a little bit to align myself with the character again, this is not working anymore, because that's just how it works with the axes. You really need to make sure you're timing your movement with the button. So if you've already evaded something, and you might have that example that I showed at the very beginning where this whole entire string lifts, so if you've already like evaded the first punch, you can then continue to sidewalk and then get to their back where they cannot block ever, because that's a thing in this game, you cannot block while back turned. So, you know, the sidewalk is a little tricky for evasiveness, unless you've already evaded something. That is my point with the sidewalks, so please, please, please stop using sidewalk to evade things as your main source of evasion, because it's very difficult, because all the opponent has to do to stop it is move forward a little bit and align themselves with your movement. And then one final note is that when you're blocking some things or getting hit by some things, you'll be forced into crouch, and you're going to be limited in which way you're able to sidestep, because on player 1 side and player 2 side, you can only go to the background, but that is an entirely different direction when you think about it, because if I'm on player 1 side, I have to sidestep to my left to go to the background, but if I'm on the other side, player 2 side, I have to sidestep to my right, which can be harder depending on, or easier depending on what move they're using. So this is another matchup thing. but it's harder to apply on the internet because you'll never be able to know which player side the opponent's on because you can prefer left side or right side. But for those people that go to tournaments, your opponent might have some setups to prevent you from moving. If they have if I was forced crouched right now and they had a move that would beat my sidestep right, then I kind of just have to deal with it. You know what I mean? So that's one last advanced thing that I'd want to share. But to summarize everything again, timing is important. Give yourself some frames to work with. Personally, I would recommend sidestepping when you are either -4 disadvantage or better. So if you have a lot of frame advantage, it's going to be super easy. But if you're -4, you might barely be able to sidestep some things. And if you're worse, like let's say like -6 or between -6 or -9, I kind of feel like you're taking a pretty big risk by doing it, because the quick buttons are probably just going to hit you. But that is my sidestep guide. I hope this helps. It is a different game, so, you know, have a little bit of a different mindset here. This will feel more like a parry at times than it will a sidewalking movement or a sidestep mechanic for my friends that play SoulCalibur. And the main reason the game's designed this way is because, you know, in SoulCalibur, every character has like a million homing moves. In this game, there's only like a few. Which is indicated by the weapon trail there, or by the loop-de-loop symbol on the hit properties. So, you know, it's a different flavor. Get used to it. It's not that bad once you're familiar with it. Anyways, that's the video. Thanks, guys.